Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on high-performance computing. Today my guest is from Silicon Mechanics. We have Daniel Chow. He is the CTO of Silicon Mechanics. How are you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you doing today?
Oh, great. I'm getting all geared up for SE16 in Salt Lake City, and I think we'll be stopping by your booth somewhere along the way there. Thanks for coming on the show today, by the way. So Dan, can I ask you a little bit about your background? Because I thought your bio was fascinating. You once had a gig at Disney, did you not?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Rich. In fact, I did serve as a senior engineering manager of the Walt Disney Company for 8+ years. I had the privilege of running a fairly large engineering organization that supported over 200 internet properties of the Walt Disney Company and their internet division. And pretty proud of the work that we did with some of the ride and park attractions with PhotoPass, if you've ever been to the park.
Yeah, I would imagine that's quite the IT infrastructure it takes to make all that work smoothly. So Daniel, you're also a blogger at Computer World, and we'll put a link up to that thread as well. But why don't we start at the beginning? Can you tell us more? Who is Silicon Mechanics, and who do you guys help out?
Yeah, thank you. Hey, everyone. I think with all the disruptions that are happening in the technology space, with all the recent announcements with regards to new tools, software, and hardware that ultimately promise to solve all of your technology challenges, I think we all know that that may not be the case. We get tons of LinkedIn email just like you. Also, I think the audience is searching for a solutions integrator that will provide you more than cookie cutter solutions. Silicon Mechanics is definitely interested in supporting open source technology and not being locked into a proprietary stack with those high associated maintenance fees. And we are also a provider that truly places your organization's mission and business initiatives first, right? And Silicon Mechanics is a premier open technology solutions provider. We've been in business for over 15 years, and I proudly serve as the CTO of the company. And we are also, our mission statement and our guiding principle that kind of allows us to gain traction in this space is to empower organizations such as yourselves through innovation.
Well, that's great. When I first became acquainted with Silicon Mechanics, it was through the award you give. You guys actually give away a cluster to an education institution every year, don't you?
Yeah, we're actually very proud of the Research Cluster Grant. These are institutions that are doing very unique research, either in life sciences. We support our STEM community, our science, technology, engineering, mathematics community. Fortunately, in this day and age, our government, our federal government, does the best job they can with the taxpayer dollars to fund these important research initiatives, but we are philanthropic when it comes to sponsoring this along with our other key partners. And we believe it's vital to support this community, and otherwise some of the research that could be life-saving or changing or impacting to our environment get lost because they don't have the proper funding for their infrastructure. And also, we will be announcing the next awards at our sixth annual attendance at SE16.
Well, great, Daniel. I'm going to ask you more about that, I think, at the end here, but I've brought your slides up. Why don't we go through that, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end.
Okay, great. This is a strategic but small representation of our 3,000 loyal customers that we proudly support that span a multitude of industries that are very diverse in terms of the industries they're participating in or leading in. These four key markets that are represented here are enterprise IT, government entities, research institutions, and higher education. Our customers tend to be very forward-looking when it comes to technology adoption in high-performance compute, HPC, hybrid cloud, whether that's on-prem or off-prem, software-defined storage and infrastructure, along with virtualization. We are privileged to get to engage with them to understand at a strategic level where they're headed over the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years, and custom build a solution that fits underneath their technology roadmap and digital business strategy. Due to the key business relationships that we have developed in our long-standing company history and exposure to different technology challenges that we have solved for our large install base, there are very few instances when we won't have a solution to an IT challenge. As a company constructed with engineering as our DNA and our core, we welcome those rare instances when we come across a unique customer problem that we have not encountered. We embrace that opportunity to research and collaborate with you, our customers, to resolve it in a timely manner and within budget. As technology environments and businesses undergo change to compete in this interconnected world, where data and information about organizations, customers, and competitors are constantly evolving and changing, you can't for a moment underestimate the importance of using the most up-to-date and secure technology to drive efficiency, cut costs, and ultimately increase profitability. We consistently hear from our customers that some of the most pressing business needs they are working to solve are centered around 3 key themes: infrastructure right-sizing, security and data sharing, along with penalty of various other challenges. In relationship to infrastructure right-sizing, customers are continually being tasked with needing to control costs and optimize every dollar spent, and in particular in the HPC space, determining how best to architect and manage HPC services for users at the right cost. In terms of security, what we hear from our customers in the government sector and other industries as well is the constant challenges of the need to securely share mission-critical data across complex networks while enforcing security policies to provide data to their diverse user communities. For those in the HPC space, data sharing will continue to be challenged both in the cloud world and in hybrid cloud deployments. Research data is growing at a phenomenal rate, driving the need for optimized accelerated compute, network bandwidth for sharing, and optimized infrastructure architectures to enable nimble research and researcher collaboration. As we evaluate solutions to the previously discussed challenges, there are some important technology trends that you should be aware of and consider when it comes to gaining agility and future-proofing your technology platforms. If you are a researcher or developer who supports a HPC environment, the recent developments in Open HPC are providing paths to enable turnkey clustering platforms that integrate common job schedulers that also include bundled automation orchestration without the extreme cost and rigidity seen in legacy cluster platforms. But it's not all about speed or agility, especially when it comes to protecting your applications and intellectual property. You can take common sense best practices when it comes to cybersecurity by hardening your Linux OS and ensuring that your servers are properly secure. Living in a world with ever-increasingly news of data breaches and security breaks, security, no matter the size or scale, must be addressed. If your HPC environment needs to be turbocharged, there are recent advancements in GPU, SSDs, and CPUs to accelerate your research to attain quicker results and insights, which span everything from IoT telemetry data to deep learning data from complex neural networks. Empowering new HPC discoveries takes many different shapes and forms. In some cases, that is supporting our important researcher community as they seek the next generation of life-saving cures for cancer and Zika, or in our DoD customers witnessing advancements that are responsible for homeland security and national defense, but also those in the private sector. No matter the market or the deployment challenge, we at Silicon Mechanics have a multitude of options and solutions that cover containerizing applications hosted in a private and public hybrid cloud IaaS solution, which are running in secure multi-level security tenant Linux virtual machines that are based on the latest and greatest Intel hardware architectures. Partnering with Silicon Mechanics as your trusted technology partner can solve your infrastructure and organizational needs due to our 15 years of acquired and accumulated engineering depth and expertise, exposure to a breadth of technology challenges which are sourced from a multitude of customers in various industries, service and support offerings that add value out of the box in terms of hardware and software products, and our high standards to assuring that products are delivered with zero defects and on time. We are committed to using DevOps and automation to remove any human errors and ensure that you never receive products that have hardware or firmware or driver defects. In conclusion, when looking for a leading solutions integrator to couple disparate hardware and software products into a HPC built-for-you solution that will keep up with the evolution and disruptive forces in technology, the experts at Silicon Mechanics are here to help you. We promise to always keep you and your organization well informed about advancements that will accelerate your research to getting published, or your developers in launching the next geospatial application that leverages IoT big data by building modular and highly scalable open technology platforms that assure your scientific future is at the power of your fingertips.
Thanks for that, Daniel. What I wanted to ask about is this element of service, right? It's one thing to stand up an HPC cluster, and you guys definitely have the expertise. But these things are complex, and they tend to break, don't they?
Absolutely. They definitely are complex. What we do is we really help remove the complexity with regards to HPC and cloud. These are very complex frameworks that are sometimes developed in a silo, right? These are developers that are have their own biases and perceptions and may not always be exposed to a diverse set of industries or customers. And so we work with these partners. We also right-size and customize these frameworks so that way it really fits your environment and ultimately drives some of the solutions that are going to help solve real customer pain points.
And Daniel, you mentioned OpenHPC, which was announced, I think, this time last year at the Supercomputing Conference. So this is an open source platform that is trying to make it easier to build clusters like this. How does that help you as an integrator?
I think with anything in the industry, there's always reference architectures, right? These are guides or a path. It's a map to get you from point A to point B. Now, what a lot of folks won't tell you is that you have to be very, I think, good at staying with your initial vision, but be flexible with the details and how to get from source to destination. OpenHPC is, I think, a great path forward for a lot of our customers and or potentially new customers. They offer recipes and solutions and guides to determining which applications and or job schedulers, or if you've never looked at automation, how do you do that within a HPC-centric environment? There's a lot of different use cases for commercial and enterprise, but there is extreme segmentation when it comes to HPC. It's the most unique environment and set of customers, and also what they are doing is fundamentally different than the masses. So OpenHPC is a great framework that we adopt and we can have deployed for a couple of our customers, and they've proven to like it, and they love the fact that ultimately they have the choice versus being locked down to a proprietary platform.
Great. Well, I guess that a business like this really thrives because of repeat customers, and I wanted to ask you about that. Certainly, you have repeating clients. I don't want you to speak for them, but why do you think they keep coming back, Daniel?
Yeah, we love our customers. The internal mission statement also is customer first, and what that means is that you do whatever is necessary to satisfy the customer's needs or requirements, but also I think your core or what your reputation is reliant upon is when things don't go quite as planned, right? In technology, there will invariably be failures, either due to customers not providing the proper specifications, or sometimes there's original equipment manufacturers that may not create the greatest firmware or software. So what we do is kind of really bridge that gap, and we are very consultative with regards to assuring our customers' needs are met at the onset, and then when things don't go quite as planned, we still stand by them, even if it's not necessarily our issue, but maybe a partner's issue, and really handhold them through the entire process. We rally to the problem itself and make sure we assure them that the problem will ultimately be resolved regardless of who's at fault. And I think that customers really enjoy that experience, and also we have loyalty as a result of that, whether it's success or failure, we will always be standing by them and behind them.
Terrific. Well, kind of a wrap-up question here, Daniel. We talked a little bit about your cluster award that you do every year, and I just wonder, what are the reactions to the folks, after they've gotten this thing stood up? Do you keep in touch with those folks and see what kind of innovations they're coming up with?
Absolutely. Our marketing team does an exceptional job constantly following with them along with our sales team to make sure that not only are we there to check on how they're utilizing the hardware or software that we provide them as a donation, but we also make sure that we work with them on their strategic technology roadmaps to make sure that they're well informed of any new announcements or technology platforms that can really accelerate their research. We do care about this community. We care about those that are utilizing not only our research cluster grant platforms, but also anybody that may hear about it or want to know more about it. We have information if you want to go to siliconmechanics.com. There's a lot of details around that. We encourage those that want to participate and want to apply. We take a lot of time to evaluate each application, and we hold those customers near and dear to our heart, along with the many others that are out there. But we also invite them in some rare occasions, depending upon what research they're doing, and then the results of that research and the impact to supercompute, so that way they can thus share that information and knowledge to the rest of the research community. Because that's ultimately what we want to do. We want to enable their research, and then we want to allow them to get results rapidly, and then to pay it forward and share that back to the community.
Well, that's a terrific program, Daniel. Well, I want to thank you for sharing that with us today. And I did want to make note, we couldn't go away without talking about supercomputing, SE16 in Salt Lake City. I see that you're going to be at booth number 1907. And can you give us a quick preview of what you'll be showing at SE16?
Well, first, everybody loves to go to conferences and get swag. I encourage you guys to stop by. We got some great giveaways with regards to, you can build your own Lego blocks with regards to HPC clusters. We also have, as part of any conference, a key giveaway. In terms of technology, we're showcasing three key things that I think are different from others. Is secure workloads. How do you implement hardening for your Linux platforms? We have expertise that can help provide turnkey platforms for that. We also are concentrated in terms of accelerated computing, so we'll have most likely some samples from our manufacturers and partners that you can kind of play or look at. And then with regards to data, because that's a key issue, we have discussions around performance, storage, and how to provide that in a commoditized platform.
All right, that sounds good. Well, Daniel Chow, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show today.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You bet. Okay, folks, that's it for the Rich Report. Stay tuned for more news and information on high performance computing.